Ancient humans once cut off a person's finger for lying. Not as a threat, not as a warning, as the actual punishment. And that wasn't even close to the worst thing they did to each other. For most of human history, there was no police, no court, no prison. Just a tribe, a fire, and whatever the group decided you deserved. And what they decided was often stranger, crueler, and more creative than anything you'd expect. These are 10 real punishments from the ancient world. They get worse as we go. Number 6 will make you flinch. Number 1 is the one anthropologists still debate whether it was worse than death. Let's start with the mildest. Number 10, silence. If you broke a minor rule in many early tribes, the punishment wasn't pain, it was disappearance. The tribe would simply stop speaking to you. No one would look at you. No one would hand you food, share the fire, or answer if you spoke first. It sounds harmless. It wasn't. In a world where survival depended entirely on the group, being erased from conversation could last for days. Some people broke faster under silence than they would have under a beating. And silence was only the beginning. Number 9, the mark that never faded. Some ancient societies didn't hide punishment. They displayed it. A person caught stealing might be marked. A cut, a burn, a scar shaped in a way everyone in the tribe would recognize on sight, for the rest of their life. You couldn't move to a new village and start over. You couldn't hide it under clothing forever. Everywhere you went, the mark spoke before you did. It wasn't just punishment, it was a permanent warning label. And the next one takes that idea and turns it into forced labor with no end date. Number 8, work until it's forgiven. In several early farming societies, a serious debt or offense didn't end with a sentence. It ended with servitude. You worked the fields, built the walls, or carried the loads of the person you'd wronged, sometimes for years, sometimes for the rest of your life. There was no fixed release date. Forgiveness was the only way out, and forgiveness was entirely up to the person you'd hurt. Which meant some people worked until they died, simply because no one ever decided to let them stop. But at least that punishment kept you inside the tribe. The next one didn't. Number 7, sent to the edge of the fire. Warmth wasn't guaranteed in the ancient world. It was earned, and it could be taken away. In some cold climate tribes, a serious offender was pushed to the outer ring of the fire circle, still technically part of the group, but placed where the heat barely reached. Through a freezing night, that distance from the flame could be the difference between waking up and not. It was punishment disguised as seeding, quiet, deniable, and sometimes fatal. And the tribe didn't have to lift a single hand to make that happen. Now it gets physical. Number 6, trial by fire. Literally. When guilt couldn't be proven, some ancient cultures didn't debate it. They let pain decide. The accused would carry a burning object or place a hand into fire and wait. If the wound healed clean, you were innocent. If it festered, the gods had spoken. You were guilty, and the punishment that followed was often worse than the burn itself. Think about that for a second. Your fate wasn't decided by evidence. It was decided by how your skin happened to heal. Which means some innocent people were punished for something their body did without their permission. Number 5, marked with your crime permanently. We've talked about scars as warnings. This is different. In certain ancient legal systems, the punishment matched the crime with brutal precision. A thief could lose the very hand that stole. A liar could lose the tongue that spoke the lie. It wasn't random cruelty. It was a message written directly onto the body. This part of you failed the tribe, so this part of you is gone. You'd carry the evidence of your worst moment for the rest of your life, whether you wanted to or not. We're halfway through, and it's about to get personal. Number 4, Erased from your own family. In many ancient societies, family wasn't just emotional, it was survival. Losing it as punishment meant losing protection, food access, and your place in the world. A serious betrayal could get you formally disowned in front of the entire tribe, stripped of your name, your lineage, your right to call anyone your kin. You'd still be alive. You'd still be standing there. But to everyone who mattered, you no longer existed as their family. And in a world with no strangers to fall back on, that was closer to a death sentence than it sounds. Number 3. Left to the wild, on purpose. Exile wasn't always a walk to the next village. In some tribes, serious offenders were let out past the last safe boundary and simply left there. No weapon, no food, no fire, in territory known to hold predators. The tribe didn't have to kill you themselves. They just had to remove every reason you had to survive and let the wilderness finish the sentence. It's one of the coldest punishments in the ancient record because technically, no one's hands were on you when it happened. Now the two that anthropologists still argue about. Number 2, buried with the person they wronged. In certain ancient burial customs, a person who had seriously wronged someone before their death could be buried alive alongside them, sealed into the same grave as an offering, a punishment, or both at once. We know this happened because archaeologists have found the remains, one skeleton in a position of rest, the other twisted, clawed, clearly still moving when the ground closed over them. Historians still debate exactly why. What no one debates is what it meant for the person inside. And that brings us to the punishment worse than death itself. Number 1, erased from memory, on purpose. Some ancient cultures believed a soul only survived after death if the living kept speaking your name. So for the very worst crimes, the tribe didn't just execute the offender. They forbade anyone from ever saying that person's name again. In stories, in prayers, in memory, forever. To us, that might sound gentle compared to fire or exile. To them, it was the harshest sentence that existed, because it didn't just end your life. In their belief system, it ended your soul's chance to continue at all. You weren't just punished, you were made to have never existed. That's the wildest part of studying ancient punishment. The physical ones were brutal, but the ones aimed at identity, memory, and belonging were often feared more than pain itself. These weren't random acts of cruelty. They were built on what each tribe believed a person truly needed to survive. Take that away, and death was almost beside the point. If you think losing your name was harsh, wait until you see what ancient humans did to people who lied to the entire tribe at once. That one's next.